So what exactly does Saruman mean when he says,
The key of Orthanc, or perhaps the keys of Barad-dûr itself, along with the crowns of the 7 kings and the rods of the 5 wizards?
like, what are the crowns of the 7 kings? Let's break that down step by step. So the rods of the 5 wizards, that's fairly self-explanatory. It's the staves of the 5 Istari, or the wizards who were sent to Middle-earth by the powers that be to help the free people fight against Sauron. But what about the crowns of the 7 kings? What does that mean? Which 7 kings? Well, that's said a little bit differently in the books. You see, in the books, it doesn't say the crowns of the 7 kings. Specifically, it says the crowns of 7 kings, which could mean any 7 kings. There is no specific reference to a set of 7 kings that Saruman could be referring to in that moment. So that clears up that mystery, but the number 7 is very important in Tolkien's universe, and let's take a look at some of the examples. It is incredibly important in Dwarven culture because there were 7 original Dwarven fathers carved from the rock by the smith god Aule. There were 7 Dwarven rings of power which allowed the dwarves to create the 7 great treasure hoards. And Durin the First was said to have been reincarnated 7 different times into 7 different dwarves, thus making him Durin the Deathless. And upon staring into the Keled Zaram, or the Mirror Mere, Durin saw a formation of 7 stars above his head, which later became the Crown of Durin. Of course, this formation of 7 stars could also be what the elves call the Valakirka, or the Sickle of the Valar, which we people call the Big Dipper. There were 7 gates of Gondolin, the greatest elven city in the history of Middle-earth, and the city itself had 7 names. And of course we have the Rime of Numenor. Tall ships and tall kings 3 times 3 were brought there from the founded land over the flowing sea, 7 stars and 7 stones and 1 white tree. The 7 stones, of course, being the 7 Palantiri, or the 7 seeing stones that Elendil rescued from the downfall of Numenor. As well as this, there were 7 sons of Feanor, the greatest elf of all time. And of course, 7 wounds were dealt to the Dark Lord Morgoth by Fingolfin, the strongest of all the elves, in their legendary duel. There were also 7 Valar and 7 Valier, that means 7 male Valar and 7 female Valar. And also Melkor. There were 7 rivers of Osirian. I mean, Osirian literally means the land of 7 rivers. There are a number of other examples because the number 7 is so important in Tolkien's universe, but I'm sure that's why Saruman just said the 7 kings.